Good, okay. We'll call it 9 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. We stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take a look at the agenda. Any changes or corrections there?
Mr. Chairman, a couple of additions, if I may. Under the consent agenda, I would like to add the minutes of the special meeting of 3/19 of 20 to be approved. I would also make a correction at 9:30 a.m. on the feedlot public meeting. The gentleman's name is Jeremy, not Jerry, so please make that correction on there. I had that wrong when I put it in there. Apologize for that. And that is all I have for additions or corrections, Mr. Chairman and board members.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, with that one correction, one addition, I'll move the minutes, or excuse me, I'll move the agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to move the agenda.
Second.
Second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, the motion passes. We'll take a look at the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd move the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes there. We have 903, we have Wayne Drew. A few items to bring forward.
Okay, I got some bids, 2 bids for replacing some bleachers out at the fairgrounds. One bid was $12,902, and the other bid was $15,798. And I do have a grant for $10,638, what the grant is. So the county would only have to pay $2,264 of the bleachers. And that's why I'm recommending the K Park one. I bought bleachers from them last year.
Are these both pretty comparable, Wayne, or are they the same
They're
thing?
the exact same bleachers, yes.
They are the same thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we accept the quote from K Park Recreation in the amount of $11,894. Oh, excuse me, $12,902 with the shipping. Yep.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. How long will they take to, will they be here
Usually after I order them,
before any activities start out there?
they would probably be here in a month and a half. We'd have plenty of time. Yeah. And we'll be replacing around the horse arena, the wooden bleachers there.
Pick up with a skid loader and move them?
Yes,
Works.
yes. They're 27-foot long, but they're light. Yep.
Wayne, if I may, Mr. Chair, again, what makes these compliant where the other ones weren't? Was it because of the height?
Yes, the other ones, the height didn't, they had backs on them. If you have backs on them, they measure the top of the backs, and they were wooden. And a lot of those wooden ones, the boards are shot on them too. So then we were in compliance. If they don't have a back on them, they got to be under 48 inches, which
Which
they are.
these are, so these are compliant.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, the other one is replacing the transfer switch for the generator. It's been acting up, and I talked to Cummings, and they said it's not the generator itself, it's the switch that's acting up. So I got a couple bids here. One's from Gray Bar, and that's $21,986.25, and that's with no overtime. Their other bid was $26,448.75, and that's if they work overtime, if they come in on a weekend or work nights. And then Jares Electric was $25,630, and I did not get an updated bid from him. This is from last year. So that would probably be higher. I recommend that we go with the Gray Bar bid, because they have one that will retrofit and fit right in.
And can we, if I may, Mr. Chair, can we do it without overtime, do you feel?
Yes.
With scheduling?
Yes.
I know we've been having issues with this for a while. We babied it along. We had it repaired here a couple years ago. It worked fine for a while, but it's acting up again now. So I really hate to spend the $22,000 on it, but I think we'd be foolish not to. We could be sitting in the dark. So in light of that, I would move that we accept Wayne's recommendation to accept the gray bar bid of the $21,986.25.
I would second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
They give you any indication timing wise at all? If how long out are the parts, or that something they can get easy?
I think it's probably within a month, probably, my guess. But I will get in contact with them right away.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Thanks.
Sheriff Freeman, are you guys ready to present?
Morning.
Morning.
We've already been down here for kind of the same thing, but it's when we accepted the position of financial agent and host for the Buffer District Task Force. But what we also need, we didn't get at that time, is a resolution signed authorizing it for the Department of Justice, so they can send us the money directly to us, and then we can divide it out. We actually just need, nothing's changed, it's just we need an actual resolution signed for that.
Yep.
So,
Chair, I'd move for approval. Okay, we have a
Second.
motion, and we have a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Discussion, any other questions for the sheriff while he's here?
Nope.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
You want me to sign this thing right now?
I'll get it after the meeting. I'll get through and sign for
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Kyle is not here. Tyler's not here. Nick is not here.
We've got public meetings at 9:30, 10, and a bid opening at 10:30. I recommend we go with, we got two other business items. We can take care of personnel issues, and then also this Supporting Hands Family Youth Partnership Joint Power Agreement action. We can take care of those.
Okay. Personnel, Kathy, you got something to?
Morning.
Morning.
As you know, with coronavirus, it's changing daily and hourly as far as policies that are getting rolled out. And the first thing I wanted to go through with the board this morning was the Family's First Coronavirus Response Act. And this is something that goes into effect on April 2nd. They just passed it on the 18th, and they have a 15-day waiting period before it goes into effect. And what it is, it says emergency paid sick leave for all, it would impact all of our staff, and they would get up to 80 hours of paid leave for any of those bulleted points there. So subject to a local quarantine, advised by a local or a healthcare provider to self-quarantine. They have symptoms of COVID. They're caring for an individual with that, or if the minor child or their school or place of care has closed. So everybody experiencing any of those would be eligible for 80 hours of paid leave. In addition to that, there's the Emergency Family Medical Leave Act, which would pay people for up to 12 weeks if the employee is unable to work or telework due to need for leave to care for their child under 18 years of age, if the school or place of care has been closed, or the child care provider of such child is unavailable due to a public health emergency. And we are fortunate that the Pipestone area schools has offered free childcare to all of our staff, ages kindergarten through 12. So that covers those individuals, but we could run into this if we have staff people with children 5 and under whose daycare providers do close because of the COVID-19, and the school does not offer coverage for that currently. I don't know if they will in the future or not. Basically what I'm seeking from the board today is, I did print out the Department of Labor, just summary of what the bill is. And their bill is recommending that, or it's stating that employees would get paid at 2/3 of their regular rate of pay from weeks 3 through 12. What our policy is stating is that we would just pay them their full rate of pay for weeks 3 through 12. So that is the main difference between this and the policy that I'm seeking that the board approved today. Just administratively, I think it's going to be a lot easier. And I don't know, just taking care of our staff in this crisis, I think would be nice, rather than trying to figure out the 2/3, 1/3 split. There are other counties that are looking at this. Nicollet County is who I got this policy from. So they are looking at just paying the full 12 weeks of leave if we were to run into this. And again, I don't think we're going to have a lot of employees that are going to run into this, but it's here if they need it. So, any questions or comments?
Mr. Chair, I see the federal one says that it sunsets on December 30th of 2020. The policy that you're presenting for the county, does that have that same sunset provision in it?
Yes, and that is on that last paragraph there. So it says, whenever the Secretary of Health and Human Services ceases this, or December 31st, 2020, whichever is sooner.
Okay.
So yes, this is a one-time this year policy.
Yeah. And obviously going forward, if for any reason we could extend it if we needed to, we can deal with that down the road.
Yeah, this time we're just looking at following the FMLA and the 12 weeks, and the only difference being, instead of the 2/3 of pay, which we are mandated to provide, just doing the full pay for the period of 12 weeks.
Okay.
Well, I'm willing to make the motion that we approve Kathy's recommendation for the Emergency Family Medical Leave Act.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Unusual in this time situation we're in. So. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No.
The next thing I have is the utilization of paid leave during a public health emergency policy. And this was passed, I got this one from St. Louis County, so I appreciate all of the other counties kind of keeping in constant communication about this. But so what this allows, and this this would kind of fill in the gap between when the COVID epidemic started to April 2nd. This would allow people to go into the negative for their sick leave up to a maximum of 80 hours. And then this is activated by the county administrator, and I'm sure he would consult with the board before activating this. But what this does is basically allows people that are out of sick leave that need time off to go in the negative for 80 hours, and then they would just earn it back over time. So it's really not paid leave, but it's allowing them to go in the negative. When this Families First Coronavirus Response Act goes into effect on April 2nd, then they would have access to the paid leave. So this is kind of just closing the gap between now and then.
And Mr. Chairman, also what this does too, is the 80 hours basically giving them their 14 days. So you're talking 2 5-day work weeks and a weekend in there, so, and possibly 2 weekends. So that should certainly get them through the 2-week window that the CDC and MDH are recommending for time to be gone if you are ill with this.
Luke? On the request for sick leave advance, the last page,
Yeah,
well, that's St. Louis County.
okay.
See that?
I'll make sure I clean that language up.
I'd move for approval with that change. Okay?
Second.
I would.
Sorry.
Second? Okay, motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for doing this. Our
Yes.
employees are our most important asset we have here, and we take care of them in these unprecedented times we're going through now, which we've obviously never been through in our generation before. So, that's the keep our people going. Thank you for that.
Okay. Talk about holding hands thing at this time.
Just a little background. The reason you have 2 copies of this in there, one of them you'll see says amended and it's shaded. If you look through that, you'll see that's where the markups are on the changes to the agreement from the past one, where the group that did that. So the other one is the clean one of the new changes to it. So that's why you have 2 in your packet on that, just so the board member can see what's going on with that.
That was helpful.
Yeah.
Chris, you're on the committee up there, aren't you, right now, or?
Right. The one thing I will note is Sibley County is looking to join, so we might have to amend this again further down the road. The only hang-up on that was their willingness to buy into it of $10,000. That's what all the other counties had paid. There's a grant available for them, and they can use that money to buy in, but the board felt that since all the other counties levied their money to get in, that one county shouldn't get off just using grant money. It was also a budgeted item in their 2020 budget, so the board was adamant that they use their levy money to buy in for that, so that's still a hang-up why that hasn't happened yet, so. And there was one county attorney that did not, at the time when we were first going over this, did not sign off on it. But they also didn't offer any corrections or suggestions to language changes. They just said they wouldn't sign off on it. So I believe other county attorneys reached out to the attorney and figured that out. So.
Are we, is Pipestone getting some use out of this program? I know I was on that committee for a couple of years, and at that time I was in favor of discontinuing it because I didn't think it was worth having. It was just a hand-holding bunch of people up there taking a bunch of tax dollars and.
Well, at our next meeting, we're looking at actually getting dividends back from this program. It's actually federally, there's lots of federal grants that fund it as well as state grants. The county money is hardly going anywhere with it right now.
From the state for it, but it's all tax dollars, which we all know where they come from, so.
Mm-hmm. At least locally, we aren't putting as much into it, and actually we took a reduction for our 2020 budget, and we're looking to do the same again next year. So, and Pipestone does get very good utilization out of it, average between 6 and 8
Okay.
mothers a year.
At that time, there was only 0 or one person kind of in and out.
A lot of our neighboring counties only have maybe a handful, but Pipestone's got very good utilization out of it.
Mr. Chair, question for Chris. Is it focused primarily on first-time mothers, or does it go to all births?
First-time mothers.
Yep.
that
And it's a
are,
training process and so forth, helping the expectant mothers to know what's going on and
it goes from pregnancy all the way to
prenatal care and the whole works.
through up to a year afterwards too. So
They don't do actually any physical care, they just talk to people.
yeah, drive and meet them at their home.
Not doctors, they just go in and talk to you.
Yeah, they're registered nurses, but yes,
Right, but they're not doing any medical.
procedures.
or
No,
any kind, so.
there's guidance and they have a lot of people actually who go through the program and then end up going to school and then coming back to be nurses in there. And since I've been on board for 4 years, 3 people have gone through the program, and gone to school and become nurses. So I think that kind of shows how the benefit of it too, gets these people on the right path, gets them, helps them get a degree, and then help out, buy back into the system too, help out others. They have, I believe it's, I can't remember what language it is, but they have 3 nurses that speak Spanish. And I know I can't remember what the Asian languages are that they have, if it's Vietnamese or if it was Korean. Korean was one of them, so they do have a diverse, they're able to reach a diverse crowd too, so. But no, they just, as far as what you see here, is just amending a lot of the language, cleaning it up, and like I said, Sibley County is looking to join, so we might have to amend this again here next few months.
Okay, you're looking for a motion you're recommending that we approve it, to go forward?
Absolutely, I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I will second the motion to approve the supporting hands.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anything else for other business, Steve, or anything else? Or Kyle's here. I don't know if we can go ahead with that now.
We'll have to wait till 9:30 for that. I can give a few minutes here. I can give a little update where we're at on COVID-19 work around the county, what we're doing. Not much has changed as far as personnel-wise since the Thursday meeting. We have a number of our departments working at a lowered staff. We have people that are working from home. IT, Bridget is working from home. Assessor's office has 2 working at home, 2 here. Recorder's office, Marianne is working from home, and she is doing e-filing at home on her computer, and it's working great. So she's very thankful to IT for taking care of that. Gretchen is in-house taking care of those. We did have a special appointment yesterday to the recorder's office to do a marriage license. So we did authorize that. That was part of our rationale to leave it open for, with limits. And so we did have an appointment for that. So we were able to accommodate the people that wanted to get married. So that was a nice thing. And that does have to be done in person. So that was good. HR is here. I'm still here. Sheriff's Department is still working. Their deputies generally are spending most of their time on the road, not coming into the office, trying to keep separation that way. If you looked online, jail numbers are down. Court is still by, let's see, they made not a motion, it was an order by the court that there may be some video teleconferencing hearings, that type of thing that may be going forward. But their schedule is very light too right now. They're scheduling virtually nothing. We are working with the courts to put an ITV system in the conference room up at the Sheriff's Department. So if there were to be someone in jail that needed to be seen by court on ITV, they could do it right from the law enforcement area instead of going all the way to the courtroom. Most of the judges we're hearing are doing their court via ITV now instead of in person as well, to keep that separation going. Highway Department has a number of the engineering people working from their homes as well. One of the, Jared Johnson is doing bridge inspections this week, so he's out in the field doing work. So we're doing, I think, a very good job of keeping our staff separated. We'll be switching off. Ones that are working from home will then come back, and then other staff will go out. Auditor's office, Sandy is working from home this week, and she'll be coming back on Wednesday, and Janet will be going home to work for the following week. So we're really trying to do our best to try to keep this, because I do believe that we haven't seen the virus to its fullest extent here yet. I think it's a matter of time that we'll be here. I think we're just a little lower on the cusp of it this time. Virtually every day you can listen to the governor. You might have heard that the governor has self-quarantined himself for 14 days due to one of his security staff being positive with it. Things that came out of his meeting yesterday. One of the talk is essential employees, and actually ordering at some point, possibly, don't know yet if this will happen, basically a shelter-in-place order for the state of Minnesota. I don't know where that is at this time. I think we'll hear more about it as the hours go forward, because this is changing so rapidly. So I don't know what the governor's definition of an essential employee is at this point and how that would affect our operations here at the county. So if something does come up, we may have to have a special or emergency meeting to deal with another issue that may come up, so I'll be in contact on that. Other things he's done, he's suspended evictions for people that are in apartments and homes. He's doing small relief funding for businesses, working with MDH and hospitals and to inventory all their personal protective equipment. And pretty much they're also looking at veterinary clinics and standalone centers, medical centers, because they're not doing any non-emergency procedures. Electives are pretty much out of the question, so if those facilities can share PPE with our first-line hospitals and clinics, that type of thing is really trying to do there too. Veterinary service has been moved to a non-priority surgeries to shut those down as well, and also possibly get some PPE from them. He did extend Minnesota income tax deadline to July 15th to coincide with the federal change on that. So if you haven't filed your taxes yet, get till July 15th to do that now. And he did add another $350 million to the COVID-19 budget. And other talk I'm hearing is the budget surplus we had is pretty well toast right now. I think pretty much all of it's gone to what we're doing to combat the epidemic and funding and do that. So state legislature is pretty much, sounds like the halls of the Senate and the state or the legislature are pretty quiet right now. They just come back and meetings occasionally. So, but that's basically what I have on the state level. Questions or comments or anything? We have a couple minutes.
Just question that if we do have to go to that next level then of shelter in place, what are your thoughts as far as our meetings here? Obviously, we're maintaining our social distance now and so forth. We have, today is quite a little complicated because we've got bid openings, we've got a public meeting on feedlots, so these things, we had to do this. But going forward, any thoughts on what we can do? Obviously, of course, we got open meeting laws, but the press would be invited to be in on any video conferencing as well.
Fortunately, the state has a process for that. So basically what we require to have is one person from the board be at the meeting. All the other 4 members of the board and the public and everybody else can be remotely, and we'd use a conference phone type of arrangement to it. So I'm working with Bill and IT to get us something like Zoom or WebEx or something like that, much like when we're doing a teleconference that we normally do when we're sitting around the table. That's how it would be done, is that it would be done by voice. So anybody from the media would be able to dial in, listen to what we're going on. We just wouldn't all be here. And how this is progressing, we may be to that stage sooner than later. So not saying this is our last in-person meeting, but I think we should prepare for that. So we can have emergency meetings the same way, as long as we have somebody here. So generally, enough of that. So generally, a board member or the board chair could be here, and we could have a meeting that way. So we could have 4 on the telephone, 1 here. Obviously, we wouldn't have video, but we would have audio for it. So we do have a system for audio recording, so we can do that. That would be what we'd end up doing. So.
Okay.
And that's my update, unless anybody else has anything right now.
Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you. Close to 9:30. Kyle, are you ready to move forward with this feedlot meeting for Jerry?
Sure.
Jeremy, excuse me. The agenda says Jerry, but we did correct it to Jeremy.
That was my error, and I apologize.
Wanted to point out there was 2 people that had similar
call.
names.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead. We have an application for a feedlot expansion from Jeremy Van Essen.
You can come forward, Kyle, so we can hear it that way. I still have a video recording.
Okay, as I was saying, we have a feedlot application from Jeremy Van Essen. He's planning to expand his feedlot located in Osborne, Section 23. Currently has about 300 animal units and is planning to expand to 550. Probably the biggest thing here is they are located within a mile of the city of Edgerton, and we did go through a variance process that was approved to allow the expansion of this facility. So the variance has been applied and approved, and he's basically adding a couple barns, going to more of a confinement style type barn system. So Jeremy, I don't know if you have anything, comments?
The last 4 years, it's been miserable dealing with mud. It's time to get under roof and on concrete, so.
And your reception then at the City of Edgerton was very positive, obviously. They granted you the variance, so.
Yeah, we did this back in 2013. I didn't want to do any more development to the farm until I knew that I had the capability to add animal units. So, actually, I had no negative from the city. I did have one neighbor who was concerned, and I waited until that neighbor moved to move this fall. And now I'm proceeding. And the neighbor that bought his place has no issue.
Thank you for being considerate. I certainly appreciate that.
Gotta be close to that, it's gotta be close to a mile, can't be much under a mile.
I'm 13 feet inside the mile.
And it's out east of town, so the prevailing winds and stuff aren't, I'm sure, there, so, and it's a farm place that's been in his family for 100 years, I don't know.
Getting close, 1925.
Okay, so it isn't, it's existing place, so.
Yep, and I have not heard anything from any neighbors or any other concerns, so pretty straightforward.
Certainly wish you well.
Yeah, good luck with everything.
Good luck, Jeremy.
This is just information, so there's no action needed by the board at this
Correct.
time, so.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Anything else, or you want to take a break until 10 o'clock? Okay.
So the bid openings is the only thing we got left.
No, we have a home abatement.
Oh,
at
home
10 and a
abatement.
bid opening
The
at 10.
abatement and then bid openings, yep.
Okay. We're back in session. All right.
Okay, we're back in session, and we're going to discuss a home abatement public hearing.
Chairman, Auditor Treasurer Reich is not available to be here today, working at home. He emailed me this morning and said he wouldn't be here, so I'll go ahead and handle this. We have in front of us is a public hearing. Notice there are no members of the public in attendance. This is for a home tax abatement. The public hearing notice had a couple of errors on it. One of them said it was located in the city of Edgerton. That is not correct. It's actually in Gray Township, actually. So, and also the amount of the annual abatement is $2,892 per year, and that is on the little spreadsheet you have. The second page you should have in your packet where it says county taxes, $2,892.42 is what it will be. So again, parcel ID in this is 08.034.0400, Gray Township, Pipestone County is where this is at. Section 34 to be specific on it. Access road is 71st Street, and we have an application in front of us from the applicant's name is Alicia Eckel. And owner's information of the property is New Walter Dairy. You have also a copy of a site plan showing the house and garage and where it's sitting in relation to 110th Avenue and 71st Street. You also have copies of a floor plan in there if you want to take a look at that. If that interests you at all. And also have a copy of the Pipestone County building permit, which has been permit number 4033. This is a new construction. It's a dwelling, approximately 82 by 64, valuation approximately $735,000. So, and that was accepted and approved by our zoning administrator, Kyle Kerr. So.
Okay, we have everything in order, it seems. Anybody care to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second.
Dan seconded. Any other discussion? Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
That will be resolution 59-17-20 will be the resolution on that.
It's nice to see this investment, it really is. It's been, what, a couple years now that we've been doing the abatement?
I think it's all of that. First we did it for 3 years, and now we renewed it. So
Oh,
I
that's
think
right.
we're
Yeah,
probably
we're
in
in
our
our first year.
now.
It's been that long, but it's had good success. It's nice to see.
Yeah. Anything else, or shall we, can,
One more
okay?
item here, I need to find it here, the fee pile. Okay, Auditor Reich is also requesting that we schedule another public hearing for the same issue, new home tax abatement, for 10 a.m. on April 14th. So that'd be our Tuesday meeting in April.
Okay.
So I will, if, that is for Mr. Wade Newgard, Grange Township, abatement approximately $1,670 per year, so we'll go ahead and schedule that. Can I get a motion?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'll, go ahead.
Okay, Luke made the motion,
I'll second.
Chris second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it's approved. 14th.
Yep, 14, thank you. So I have on that. Next item of business we have will be at 10:30 a.m. for bid openings. We have 3 projects, basically 1 project actually. There'll be one bidder on this for the Bach Culvert project, and Nick and Demaine will be here shortly, so I recommend we go into recess.
Okay,
So moved.
so moved. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 10:29, we'll call it 10:30. We lost Nick.
Yeah, clocks are different.
So go check the mail, I bet.
So for the hospital board meeting this afternoon, we'll all be back at 1 except for Dan.
What's that?
Except Dan will be missing this afternoon, he'll be out.
Well, I'm gonna call it in.
Yeah. Do we have to call the newspaper at all? Let them know we'll be here.
I think they got the same message we did.
Yep.
It's 10:30 if you wanna, we'll proceed with the bid openings.
Yep, we can. I just checked with the highway department. We had Trevor standing out front here that's the only door you can get in, so Bruce is on his way down. He's gonna check with the auditor's office, so I'll probably wait for that till he gets here to make sure there's no more bids, but this is a project for 3 box culverts. One of them is on our County Road 53, just north of Highway 30, kind of out by Huber's Automotive. And then there's 2 more just east of Holland.
Here.
Bruce is here.
Oh, you're up there? All right. Sounds good. We can proceed. Looks like we have 5 bids. First bid is Riley Brothers Construction out of Morris, Minnesota. Their bid is $530,520.68. It's $530,520.68. Second bid is Midwest Contracting out of Marshall. Their bid, $545,145. $545,145 even. The third bid is A&C Excavating out of Marshall. Their bid is $436,186.20. $436,186.20. Fourth bid is R&G Construction out of Marshall. Their bid is $428,776.30. $428,776.30. And the last bid is Henning Construction out of Adrian. Henning's bid is $445,851.20. $445,851.20. The engineer's estimate for this project was $433,638.50. $433,638.50. So, if the bonds check out, Bruce is gonna run the bids back to get checked quick, and, should be able to, I would recommend awarding to the low bid if the numbers check out here, so.
Is this something we want to act on yet today? So we'll wait until
Yes.
you come back.
Yep, I would, hopefully 15 minutes or so, we can hear that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys for bidding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other business to talk about? Then let's go into recess till we hear back from our county engineer.
Okay, we're back on.
Okay, we're back in session. Have a phone call.
Yep.
We don't have a-
Thanks, Dwayne. Yeah, go ahead.
Turn that back on so I wouldn't miss the office there. So I just got a call from the office and all the bids checked out. R&G Construction out of Marshall was a low bid, and they were roughly 5,000 under the engineer's estimate, so we've worked with them a ton in the past. I have no concerns with their work, so I would definitely recommend awarding to R&G Construction out of Marshall for the contract total of $428,776.30.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion.
Okay, Les made the motion.
Second.
Chris seconded it. Any other discussion? All in favor of approving?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved.
All right, sounds good. Any other questions for me today, or otherwise that's all I
I
had?
think so, unless somebody else got anything.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, I'll try.
Any other business to come before the board?
Motion to adjourn.
Chris made the motion to adjourn.
Sec.
Les seconded. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Be back at 1 o'clock, or if possible, if not.
Possible, huh?